This is Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I am Harrison Sanford, and I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. Fewer times have I been happy about being wrong. And
Yo.
I need to say
Yo.
I think Danny Green
Here
can
he
say
second that.
yes. The San Antonio Spurs are going to the NBA Finals despite Danny Green picking the Thunder to win in 7. Despite, I don't know if I made a public.
Here.
Despite my pick of picking the Spurs
I've made
to
many
win,
publics.
the Thunder win in 7.
Yeah.
We're here now. Okay, we got a lot to discuss. We're going to break down Game 7, but I want to let you guys know all the content that is coming your way. If you look at our social media pages or if you're listening on a podcast app, we broke down the top 10 most interesting or most important players in the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs. We did that already. We were kind of prepared. So we have that's coming at the end of the show. We also have major keys, the big keys to the Knicks winning a series against the Spurs and the Spurs winning a series against the New York Knicks. All that content is already coming to you. It's in this episode. You might even see it already on our YouTube page. But for what we're doing right now, the next 15, 20 minutes, we're breaking down game number 7 in OKC, where the Oklahoma City Thunder were not able to withstand the depth of the San Antonio Spurs. So we'll get into that topic later, but let's just get right to it, Danny. Your major impressions of what you saw from Game 7 from the San Antonio Spurs.
Man, I saw, again, we spoke about this. We talked to some of the fans earlier on the live and got to answer some questions and got on a call with you after the game, got a chance to talk about it. I just saw a fearless young team that did not care. They were not taken by the moment. They weren't shaken. They weren't flinching. They didn't back down, and it was a collective effort. Like, everybody came to play. I was like, yo, we need 2 of those guys to hoop. We need a Champagne night and a Vassell night, or we need a Fox and a Harper night, or we need a Castle and a Keldon Johnson night. We got everybody to play tonight. Like, and Wemby didn't have to score 40. And it goes back to your statement, which I gave you credit for in the live. Wemby could win MVP of the league with averaging 20 or less points because of how much he affects the game in so many other ways, and because of how good of a group his team around him is and how much he empowers them and makes them great. They had 7 guys in double figures, key baskets, every single one of them. Champagne, Vassell, Keldon, Harper, Fox, Castle. It all goes down the line. So yeah, man, I saw a really good collective effort from the whole group. Even the guys that came in, Cornette had big minutes. Harrison Barnes, like, those guys came in and did what they were supposed to do. And shout out to HB. It's his birthday today. He continues the streak that no one has lost on their birthday. I think in the playoffs, there was 7-0 prior to tonight. They're currently 8-0.
Yeah. Nobody's lost on Game 7.
On their birthday, right? There you go. So
I want to get into more like of a game plan thing before we do that. So I'm curious, right? Because you've played multiple Game 7s. You don't have to tell me, but I'm going to assume at least maybe for some of them, you might have come out a bit nervous or not like fully swag, not fully with your full swag like the Spurs appeared. And I'm trying to figure out why. The Spurs came out with a tenacity, a confidence, a swagger that's really unfamiliar for a team going into their first Game 7 for a lot of those players. And so here's what I'm thinking are the reasons why. Number one, because they've beaten the Oklahoma City Thunder during the regular season. Number two, is it because they beat Oklahoma City by 27 in Game 6? The most recent, like literally, yes, I know OKC sat their players, but the Spurs were going to win that game handily. Did coming off a fresh win like that do it? Or is it, Danny, or the 2 other options, is it just the idea that we're playing with house money? If we lose, we lose. It is what it is, but we're going to go out guns blazing. Or is it number 4, Victor Wembanyama empowers us to believe that we're the best team in the world? Which obviously is probably a mixture of all those things. Which one do you think is gets the biggest slice of the pie?
Before you got to your last 2 statements, those were the ones that I was going to pick. And it was more so you take on the personnel, I guess the mannerisms the attitude, the mindset of your leader. And when Wemby came out, guns blazing, first play of the game, getting to the basket, knocking down a bank shot, like when he's ready to play, it empowers those other guys. But there was one other thing that you're missing. So I'm going to go with Wemby at number one of your leader. And all those other things, a combination of house money, beating them regular season, they mattered a little bit. Not as much as Wemby being number one. And number two, a fan asked a really good question. What does the Spurs organization have over other organizations to prepare this young group for the finals? And it's just the championship DNA all around them. That's the front office, the coaching staff, the Tim Duncans, the David Robinsons, the Manu Ginobilis, the Tony Parkers that are there to be them every day. So it is new to them, but they know how to handle it better because they have that insight. They'll be more prepared than a new team for the finals, you know what I'm saying, because they have those people. Then, you know what I'm saying, a team like the Knicks that nobody has ever been there, like 27 years. I don't think anybody from that time is still around, from that Knick group. Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But most teams have never experienced it.
Patrick Ewing is around, but he didn't win a finals. Larry Johnson is around, but he didn't win an NBA finals. The only person that's really around that won a finals is Clyde Frazier.
Yes. So they have a little bit of, again, these two teams, but there are the teams that never have experienced it at all. Like Oklahoma City Thunder have never experienced or had any people experience, like Indiana. So that's one advantage that the Spurs have, is having Pop in that locker room to set the tone before a game 4 when they go down 2-1, to have, those guys under your wing or in your ear. And they also have a couple guys on the roster, Kelly Olynyk, Harrison Barnes, Luke Cornett, have been to the finals, and a couple of them have won in the NBA finals. Biyombo has been around for a little bit. Plumlee has been around for a little bit. So with Wemby and that culture, that organization, that's why they're more prepared and fearless. Like, there's nobody better than Pop and the tree of coaches underneath him to get a young player, like I was in my young days, to be locked in on the opponent and the challenge and not even think about the stage or the lights. Again, I've talked about this many times. I didn't realize how big the stage was or that I was in the finals till 3 months later. And I was like, damn, like I'm watching the game, Charles Barkley in 94. I'm like, damn, that was the NBA finals. Like, this is going to be played forever. I was so focused on beating the Miami Heat and playing against D Wade and LeBron James and Chris Paul, like making sure my defensive assignments was on point and not letting down my teammates, that I didn't even think about how big the stage was and how bright the lights were. So that organization has given them a more insight and more of an experience than most organizations can, offer.
That's great insight. I think I imagine that must be so hard to not think of the stage that you're on, and yet here they are, the Oklahoma City Thunder were not able to back up their title defense. Danny, this is the 8th straight year now that we're going to have a different NBA champion.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Danny Green here, 3-time NBA champion, NCAA champion, and co-host of Inside the Green Room. If you're anything like me, got to be excited for the NBA playoffs and the offseason. And this show is supported by you, so show us some love. Make sure you subscribe to the page, leave a like, leave a review. And those who have supported us the last 7 years, thank you so much. And those who are new, be sure to follow our coverage and show us some love. Hope to see you guys soon. Enjoy the NBA playoffs.
So we're turning a new page, and I want to speak about the Oklahoma City Thunder a little bit, and then we'll get back to the Spurs. Danny, in this game, they finally got the quote-unquote renaissance game from SGA.
Yeah, you got the SGA game.
It's efficient from the field, and he was getting contributions from other guys. Caruso didn't shoot well, but Caruso played well. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, Cason Wallace. And yet, Danny, the guys
Jared McCain,
the guys who are about to get money are the ones who did not play well. Chet Holmgren next year, Danny, starts a 5-year, $239 million contract extension. Jalen Williams, who did not play, next year starts a 5-year, $239 million contract extension. Lou Dort has a club option for next year. By the way, during this current basketball season, he switched agents and he went over to Clutch. Again, Lou Dort has a team option. By the way, Isaiah Hartenstein, who really was taken out of the game at moments is also has a team option. You could please tell me about those guys in general and where do you see they fit in the future of OKC? But I also would love to get your insight. What does it feel like to play in a pressurized playoff game when you know that your contract is something that
in the air?
that is in the air? Like, yes, Chet Holmgren is guaranteed his money, but it would behoove me if I was Chet Holmgren's agent, one of his homies, to be like, yo, we about to be in the second apron. And you're a big reason why we're about to be the second apron with your 5-year 239. Oh, Lou Dort, I know you got a new agent, and part of the reason is because you got a team option. And the way the OKC's books are set up, you might be a casualty because they could probably afford to lose you with all the depth that they have. Is there something about that makes it a bit more challenging mentally to play? Obviously, physically, I don't think, but maybe mentally, could in a moment like this, in a series like this, because if you win the championship, you know you're coming back. Right?
Yeah.
More than likely.
This goes back to the question, I think, when you asked me, like, at which city I felt the most pressure in. And you were like, when you feel more pressure when you're younger because you didn't have the contract yet? Every year there's pressure, and this only adds more to it, especially when you're up for contract, about to be a free agent, or team option, or even when you make a lot of money and they have the expectation of you performing. Now, when you make a lot of money and you're solidified, you're a little bit more comfortable. You're not as worried. Look, my contract's my contract. I'll be okay. If they end up trading me, I'm still making my contract, which sucks, but I'm not out the league, or I'm not looking for a new deal, or I'm not trying to perform. Like, my last game is not something that's going to be held over me for my negotiations of contract. Now, when you're a team option guy, a little different, and you're not performing. You go out, you're trying to be aggressive. You're trying to get an extension or a new deal, that type of thing. So it's kind of like a free agent year almost when you're up for a team option. So I'd imagine Isaiah, who's shown quite a bit of why he should get an extension, came out this year like that, and this playoff series, even though this game didn't show that. Lou Dort, even though he didn't play a lot of minutes, he's still guns blazing. I'm going down. Like, he was aggressive in his shot. He was not shy or bashful from his shot.
He wasn't, but he wasn't hitting
most of the series. He was 1 for 3 tonight. He only played 16 minutes from 3, 1 for 4 for the game. Now, Chet, you're playing it like he was very shy and bashful. Like, people looked and saw, like, okay, there's something creeping in here. Fear, anxiety, I don't know, is the moment. You taking only 2 shots, you're not a role player. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be one thing if he was a Lou Dort taking 2 shots and only playing defense, or if he was a wing guy that didn't get a lot of minutes, like a Kenrich Williams. You know what I'm saying? You're an all-NBA guy. You're a guy that's supposed to be kind of somewhat featured, and that is just not acceptable. So it is different for different scenarios. The team option guys, I don't imagine they make a lot of changes, because even with all that being said, as poorly as those guys played, the other guys stepped up and found ways, and they still had a chance to win the game with 2 of your best players out. Jalen Williams, all-NBA guard, all-star guard, did not play most of the season and most of the playoffs, and you got this far. Went to 7 games. AJ Mitchell, emerging star, young star, going to be a cornerstone pillar for your group. He did not play. Now, yes, since you're in the apron, can you make a move to try to – I mean, Hartenstein, I think, is pretty safe. Now, Lou Dort, that's something different. Now, I'd expect they try to bring everybody back, but in a smarter way, because you're still one of the better teams, if not the best team, to be proven in the West. Now, it can go back and forth between them and the Spurs the next couple of years. Who's healthy, who's not. That's why it's hard to win back-to-back, because you're not going to be healthy back-to-back years. So if I'm them, I'm sure they sit tight. But if they're going to make moves, I'm sure they're going to make smart moves. Not many, tweak things here and there. Unless you see something crazy happen, which I don't see them going for Giannis, which we threw it out there randomly. That could happen, but I don't see why they would do that. And again, they might make a move or two just to, like, team option. Okay, well, I might have to let Lou Dort walk. That's going to save us some money underneath the cap. Alex Caruso's proven to be his contract, like his extension. People were like, oh, that's a little bit crazy for a guy that comes off the bench and only averages 20 minutes a game. No, it's not crazy. He's showing you he's worth, 20 a year, which is, fairly good, if not cheap deal for some guys that show up like this in the playoffs. But yes, other guys, I mean, I don't know. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, like these guys played during a regular season. They're really good shooters. I don't know if you can't play them in the playoffs. It's like, do we keep them? Do we move them? Do we use them as trade bait? Do we package them? Do we sign and trade like Lou Dort and Isaiah Joe and move them somewhere to get off of some money and get like another big or piece or something like that? So there's some moves they can make, but I don't see anything drastic happening.
If I'm Sam Presti, there's a couple of things that I want. Number one, I want Mark Dagnall and the coaching staff to find a way to make Chet Holmgren be better offensively. I look at Chet Holmgren and I think of Danny. I think of Michael Porter Jr. when he was in Denver.
Yeah.
No, Michael Porter Jr. is better than this. Why is he just a catch and shoot guy? He goes to Brooklyn and what happens? He starts balling out. And so, some of it's on Chet, but I think some of it is on the coaching staff organization. Like, I know Chet is better than this. You got to help version of himself. And he has to help himself too.
Yeah. I think it's more so like MPJ he's more of an aggressive guy than Chet was. Like there's a lot more of this is on Chet. He has to go get it. And him, again, I mentioned this earlier, him and Jalen Duren is tape time this season and it's mental building this season. Y'all need to go see the Monks. Go see the Monks. So whatever it is, you have the tools, you have everything you need, all NBA guys. But for some reason, this season, this postseason, you did not show up the way your team needed you to show up.
100%. Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot to discuss about the Thunder. They have a wealth of draft picks, and they're about to be in the second apron.
Yeah.
They're the one team that can overpay to fix a problem and still be okay. So I would be them losing to the Spurs might be a
blessing in disguise.
Could be a scary thing for the league. Yes.
Because they have everything they need. They can do whatever they want. They can go get Giannis. They have the ability to make moves to do whatever they please with all the draft picks they have.
Yeah, they can do it.
And the pieces they have.
Right. They're not going anywhere. Not at all. And I also think too, all the stuff that was said about Shai during this playoff run probably makes him a better player too. And I would be scared of that as well.
Yeah, you better believe he's coming back. He's one of those guys that comes back with a vengeance, bro. Like he's cut from that cold Mike mentality cloth of, I'm saying, I'm just gonna keep thriving, getting better. Nothing phases me. Even that press conference, you can tell it's like he's ready for next season, like already. It's like, damn, all right. So Mike is out. There you go.
Scary hours for sure. We're going to go back to the San Antonio Spurs. Again, later on in this podcast, you will find our keys to victory for the Spurs against the Knicks and for the Knicks against the Spurs. And then Danny also ranked the 10 most important players in an NBA Finals. But I wanted to just reflect on this game specifically. Danny, throughout the entirety of the series, it felt as if De'Aaron Fox couldn't find his stride. Yes, he was helping. Just him ball handling was good for the Spurs because that meant less turnovers from Stephon Castle. And then on the other player too, Keldon Johnson, it felt like what happened to Keldon Johnson, the sixth man of the year? This game 7 was a come out party for both of them in terms of being really, truly productive.
Mm-hmm. Being ready.
What does that mean? Again, I don't want to get into a full preview of the Knicks Spurs series, so we did that already. But what does their appearance or their renaissance or their showing up in Game 7, what does that mean for Spurs going forward?
Huge, bro, huge. Because in order for them to compete with the Knicks, they have to have the depth. And you're not deep if you don't have Keldon Johnson and De'Aaron Fox playing like that. And sometimes you just need one of those games to get you over that mental hump. Keldon really needed that game, like especially that 1-3. Once he saw that 1-3 go in, then he hit the second one. Now he's back to barking at people, bullying people on the glass and doing the little stuff. You know what I'm saying? Fox played a very smart floor game, picked and chose his moments when to be aggressive. We need more aggressiveness from him. But for him to see a couple go down was huge. Like we need those two. I keep saying they need those two guys to ball out and for them to beat the Knicks. So this was a big series. It was a lot of growing. Another question somebody asked, like, who grew up the most in this series? It was a lot of growing up from everybody, but those guys especially, and they're your vets. Like Keldon and Fox are some of your vets on the team, and they've gotten a chance to grow as this has happened. Of course, the young guys grew the most because they have some most to learn and to improve from. But those two guys in this series, I think that game 7 solidified their confidence of going into this next series to carry. I said, when you got Landry Shamet going 11 for 12 from 3, you got Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart getting 5 threes in a game. Like, they're playing, the offense is one of the best in the history of the league that we've seen. You're going to need the all hands on deck. And that's Keldon and Fox not only playing floor game and rebounding, but scoring as well and being productive on that end of the floor. So that was a huge key, huge plus for them. And that is going to dictate, honestly, the series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. One more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. One of our most viral clips of the year. When you looked at the camera and you said, nobody really talks about it, but the Spurs are the deeper team. Throughout the course of this Western Conference Finals, people still go to that clip and comment on it. People fighting in the comments about this clip.
Yeah.
So I asked you after the end of Western Conference Finals, after the Spurs win in Game 7, I'll ask you one more time. Who is the deeper team?
Between the Spurs and the Knicks?
No. Spurs and Thunder.
Ooh. So with new information comes new or different results or different opinions, right? After seeing it happen and play out in full time. And mind you, before the Spurs were good this year, I said they're my dark horse in the West. I can see them getting to the Western Conference Finals. People thought it was crazy. Then they got good and they're like, oh, they're number 2 seed now. Now it's not as crazy. It makes sense. Watching this series, and for OKC, and they're not going to like this, for OKC to play in this series without 2 of their best players and still be capable of winning the series, it showed to me that when it matters, OKC is the deeper team. Now, during the regular season, those other guys play differently. Again, Keldon Johnson is playing differently. Fox is playing differently. Like, in the playoff series, though, we didn't see as much as consistent as Jared McCain, Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace, like knocking down shots, showing up big for this group. Like, they showed up, but it was like more up and down. And for them to do that without AJ Mitchell and J-Dub, it makes me seem to, I mean, I still think it's fairly equal because I think Spurs are deeper, but when it comes to experience in the playoffs, like OKC showed that they were the deeper team, honestly.
Yeah, I think as I was watching this game, I was like, the Thunder are the deeper team, but the Spurs have more individual talent. Like, this guys on this, like, they don't really have a Dylan Harper. They don't have
like a Fox,
Harper.
A second Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have another guy that says that good, but they're good in their role, but they don't have a guy that's that good at that, like, person. Like, Dylan's so good. Fox is so good. Castle's so good. Even Vassell and Champagne, they have, like, they're great in role. They have very good role players.
Very good role players, but I look at the Spurs and I say, like, Dylan Harper is probably could be a 1 some on another team and on another franchise, he could be a 1. I look at Vassell, I'm like, he could probably be he could be a 2, 3. Like, but he's probably like a 6, 7.
All those guys could be 2, they could be 2 3s in a lot of places. They're actually like 4s and 5s, and Dylan's coming off the bench. But a lot of those guys in other places could be 2 or 3s, like you said.
Exactly.
In OKC, they just be other people's stronger 4s and 5s. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't be 2s or 3s. They'd just be a stronger 4 or 5 for the other teams. So individual, good way to put it, individual talent.
Yeah, I think that's how it all breaks down. Shout out to one Danny Green, who's taped a lot of content recently. We taped Thursday, we taped Friday, he did Saturday night live stream with fans.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, we all throughout the week, bro. And now we're going on the road to San Antonio. We might be doing some more.
And this is how it's going to go because the Spurs are in the Danny, if the Wemby era is here and it looks like it's here, you're going to have not just like national obligations, but you're going to have a lot of fans clamoring to hear your thoughts on your former team. It's actually not a bad time to be in the media,
some great local obligations too, which would be great. It's not a bad time at all. It's going to be tough for me to do this NBA show because I stand on business. So I say what I say and to keep my predictions what they are in that city. But to be fair, Harrison pressed me. HB pressed me tonight. It was like, yo, I heard you pick the Knicks to win in the finals. I said I did, bro. I have to give an unbiased opinion, but this is why I don't gamble, because everybody I choose loses. So the odds are in your favor, my guy. With that being said, I'll keep my stance of where it's at. Doesn't mean I'm not rooting for you guys. Still rooting for him.
There you go. Stay tuned to the feed, particularly if you're in the San Antonio area. Things might be happening in San Antonio. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning into the show. Again, on this feed or on our feed or within this episode, within the Inside the Green Room ecosystem, you will find Danny Green's keys to a Knicks Spurs series on both sides and also top 10 most important players for the NBA Finals. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is our Monday episode. We will not be recording Monday. The next time you see us will probably be Media Day, which is already just Tuesday, June 2nd. So it's right around the corner. Until then, Danny, tell them what to do, please.
You know what to do. Read, rate, subscribe, review. Peace.
Peace, y'all.